Character designs provided by Demon Artie. Be sure to check her out over on her social media platforms. Links to her Twitter and Instagram are going to be in the description down below. Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sen.
MVT PCA.
Native 454.
Be sure to check us out over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. And if you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. The Owl House Season 2, Episode 3, Echoes of the Past. This is it. This is what I was talking about. You can make this show. The show has story. It has depth. It has characters. The comedy's spot on. It didn't get too silly and weird. And this is the good stuff. This is the stuff that everybody wants. I don't see how anyone can watch this episode and think, oh, that was an awful episode. This is excellent. Again, we're only 3 episodes in for me, and it's best episode so far. It's a King episode. And if anyone who remembers watching any of my older videos, I always say, gotta do something with King. King can't just sit there and be this silly character who gets into little scraps and then, oh, he has the funny voice. He sounds like, it's Bill Cipher, it's Hearst or whatever. And that's like anyone ever loved about him. No, there's something more here. This whole I was a demon king. And I'm like, there's got to be something more to that. And I always thought, like, is he lying? Is this something he just tells himself? But we learn all that. We get to learn a whole lot about King. And there's still mystery, which is cool. You should always leave us wanting to know more. But we learned a lot about the guy. And you know what? I love him. He goes through some stuff for this episode and he has to face some hard truths and some hard facts, but he has a family now and that's important. There's so many sweet moments. This is where Luce's greatest attribute is being a great friend, being kind and caring, but it also shows how that can be a negative thing when someone may or may not be lying to themselves and you just feed into the lie just to make them feel better. That can be an issue too. But you know what? When, someone's rock bottom, you want someone like Luce who can sit down next to you and be that good friend. And this is such a great episode. I was going to jump right into it. And we had a cold opening and we see someone in a cloak going through acid rain. And I'm like, okay, this is definitely going to be Ida, and it's younger Ida. So her hair hasn't gone completely gray. She has like a gray streak. She looks super good. I love it. The only issue I have with it is she still has her it's the same voice actress, so it still sounds like an older lady when she's obviously not older, but it doesn't matter. It's still great. We see something kind of rush at her, boom, get the opener. So I'm like, okay, something happened in the past. This was attacked by a monster. She's on some strange island or some strange forest with acid rain. But we get Luce and Lilith are practicing combining spells, and Luce is looking at the light spell. And she's like, oh, maybe I can find a way to reflect the light or whatever. Here's the thing. There's very few things I'm going to complain about, but she kind of just figures this out all on her own just by doodling. I say this every time. There should be some type of bigger thing than just, oh, I was just practicing some things and then this worked. So she's trying to figure out to do something with how to turn invisible. Which with light, if you can reflect light and change it and, the way that we perceive light, you can become invisible. King's there. He's like, oh, man, Luce, ever since you've been doing these glyphs. Again, they're glyphs, not runes. I may swap those up and mix them up. I've been D&D too much in my life. So they have all these glyphs and you've been practicing these things too much. You need to play with me. So he has a little fortress of all his stuffed animals and everything. And, one of them is planning an insurrection.
Luce, I need your help. I think Francois is trying to start a rebellion.
I love that. That was the comedy is just right. It's not too much. It's not too little. And it doesn't just jut out of nowhere. But yeah, so he wants to play with Luce and Luce's like, no, I'm trying to figure this out. But check this out. I'm going to see if it actually, if it's going to work. Then we have Lilith and she's all about perfection. Look at her crazy perfection face. Look how close she's staring at this thing. Because she wants to get the glyphs perfect. And that should have been another, because I talk about this magic system, how there doesn't seem to be a downside. The downside should be you have to print these perfectly, but Luce is that's never not worked. She's never pulled out a glyph and it not work. She does it. So make a printing press where you can just mass produce these dang things. But Lilith's the best part's watching the ink dry because she has to do everything perfectly. Then I love. Again, I'm going to say I love a lot in this episode because there's a lot to love about this episode. Hooty and Lilith are perfect for each other. He's there for her. He's a little goofy. He grounds her because she's so serious. the look on her face when she was like literally watching the ink dry and then when Hootie shows up with the tea, look at the difference. And she's like, oh yeah, you just knew exactly what I needed. I got a bad feeling about this because they're making me love it so much that something's going to happen with this relationship. Please don't let it go bad because it would kill Hootie. Like, it would kill him. Like, something happens with Lilith. Like, I don't know if she goes evil or disappears or something happens. It would break his little Hootie heart, and then it would break my heart. But they just great together. I love it. But Luce is thinking about getting these, doing this invisibility spell, and she gets it to work. It happens a little too fast, but she gets it and like, oh wow, that was amazing. And I thought it was really funny that King freaked out. And then I guess I don't know if the spell's been not perfected, but if you breathe, it goes away. Well, that doesn't really make any sense. I guess they had to give it a downside in some way, which is nice, but I would like for the downside to make a little sense. And then King's like, don't ever do that again. Don't disappear. He's got abandonment issues. Because he's still a kid. Or very young, and yeah, just seeing Luce disappear like that kind of scared him a little bit. He still wants to play. Then when Luce comes back, he's like, oh no. Then like Lilith's like, yes, do it again, because she wants to see it happen, because she's always interested in everything, like especially when it comes to this new spells. Then King like throws like a doll at her, like, oh, you're gonna take my Luce away. He's like, he's playing. Then I love it. He does the get down, Mr. President meme. Hootie jumps away and takes the hit. He falls into her arms. I love it. It's so funny. He's like, come on, it's pretend, right? And he's, oh, I'm dying in your arms. But this is a good advancement. We're starting to figure out the different things that we can mix the spells together. And King goes right back to his like, oh, if I had, my crown and I was the king of the demons, you wouldn't be talking to me this way. You'd bow down before me. Like all that stuff that he always said in season 1, where I always speculated, I don't know if he's lying, or if he is living a fantasy, or there was something he read in a book, or and he just thought it was him. Like, I didn't know if he really was this demon king. So he goes to explain, oh yeah, I was this king. And it shows like all the, like the tapestry murals and stuff. It kind of, a lot of this looks Mayan. If you look at like the Mayan, like old paintings and stuff they would have in their temples, it looks a lot like this. But he's like, yeah, I had armies and I had people bowing before me and it was great. But then I got hit with a curse and it made me tiny. And they're like, there's never been a king of demons. There's never been one. They've never been unified under a single like leadership, because Lilith, it was like the emperor's like #1 historian. So she studied all these books and everything. That line made me think, because we don't know everything, even in our world. Like, just because we think we know, oh, this happened this time, we weren't there. We only have documents and firsthand accounts, but it's hard to say exactly with 100% definitive proof that this never happened, because this could have happened. This could have been thousands of years ago and they didn't have record of it. But Lilith's like, yeah, whatever, your little fantasy here, it's not real. But King's like, yeah, it is. If you would he even talks about the crown. Even Hootie starts going in at him, oh yeah, what about your crown? Oh, that was just a test for Ida to see, and Luce to see if they were loyal to me, and they passed. Because remember, he went and got his stupid Burger King crown or whatever. And then he keeps talking about like, yeah, I remember the last thing I remember is falling far, and then when I woke up, Ida found me, and he was like when I was just like, he carried me like a baby, and of course it's adorable, and he's like a dog. It's weird. What exactly is King? Is he like a wolf or something? Because does that skull, can it come off? Because it's like a helmet, because his eyes are inside of it, like sunken inside. Is he like a Cubone? And his mouth never moves, which is another, I don't know if that was done to save on animation, but it's also weird that he literally doesn't have a moving mouth. But there's Luce kind of playing with them and everything, and they're giving him the business, like, oh yeah, sure thing, yeah, you really were the king of all the demons. Like, you know what? I could actually prove it to you. If you guys would see my castle, it was this amazing place. And again, it just sounds like a little kid making up a big old lie. And he's like, you know what? Screw you guys. And he runs off. And Lilith's like, why are you playing into his fantasy, Luce? Just stop lying to him. But then Luce, like, it makes him feel better. Just do it. If he's going to say he's a king, just kind of go along with it. It makes him happy. I don't want him to be sad. Just do it. And that's where you get this, when you're too nice to someone and you like, if someone wants to play basketball and it's like their dream to be in the NBA, but they just don't have it, when they're little kids, you kind of say, oh yeah, keep practicing. But as they get older and you realize that they just don't have it, are you doing them any favors by feeding into that fantasy that they're going to be the next MVP in the NBA? They're going to go into college and they're going to just, destroy the competition and they're going to be first round draft pick. Is that a good thing to do that? Support dreams, but at a certain time, you got to start being more realistic. But Luz does not want to do that. She's definitely someone who's going to always say the smile and say, yep, you're right. Let's keep working at this. You're going to do it. And just, even if she doesn't believe it, she's going to do that, but she doesn't want the other person to feel bad. So he's like, you know what? He went and got their staffs and, hey, we're going to go. I'm going to take you to my castle and that's going to prove it to you. And then Lilith's like, does the whole like, okay, I'll play along with it just because. Then she wants to know, like, she kind of wants to prove him wrong too. Lilith's that kind of person where she will, oh, okay, you think you're smarter than me? Okay, let's do this. Like, she's going to want to like prove it. So they're going to go. And I do like this. This is a really fun scene because Lilith's like, hey, Hooty, you want to come along with us? And up to this point, Hooty is the house and he can't go anywhere. But we did see in the trailer that he gets like this little like, I want this backpack like ridiculously bad. It's so cute. Look at this little thing. But they don't show the process of him entering this thing. It's obviously gross because look at the door. There's like his guts and stuff right there. And their faces while he's doing this, they're like getting sick. And he's like, oh, look, I'm in here now. I can go with you. And just look at Luz. She's like dry heaving. But it must have been so nasty. I wish we would have seen it, but that's the comedy I'm talking about. That's freaking perfect. I love it. So they're going to go on this adventure. They left a note for Eda, but they didn't actually tell her, which was kind of rude. But then we get Eda coming out of the shower. And she's like, hey, where the hell did everyone go? And then she's like, oh, I can relax now. She just pops her feet off. I'm like, no, you would like take your shoes off. She literally takes her legs off, like her from the knee down. And she sees the note. Oh, taking the girls to go check out my castle. See you later. And she's like, oh no. She has like this chitty chitty bang bang tub that can fly. Where the hell did this thing come from? But I guess she had to have another way to fly to where they were going. Since they don't have magic anymore, do these items inherently have magic, and do they run out of magic? Like this thing can just fly because it's not mechanical. There's no actual mechanics that would make this fly. It has to be magic because it doesn't have like wings. It just has like a propeller. Same thing with the staves. So Lilith can fly on her staff even though she doesn't have magic anymore. Again, little things like that. I overanalyze things. That's who I am. So what I'm like, oh wow, since Eda is very concerned about this, maybe there's something bad on this island. Maybe something terrible happened to King and she doesn't want him to have to like face that. Or it's gonna expose his lie or something. This whole idea of him being this demon king. But they're flying along and they're not finding it. It's taking a long time. And we get the funny jokes. Oh, Lilith and Hooty, they're too much for me. I love them. But the fog clears and we see this island. And they're like, oh, whoa. He's like, there it is. And another odd, strange line of dialogue.
This island shouldn't be here. It's not on any of the maps.
It's always been there when I looked for it.
Is this place like hidden? And when King wants to go there, it just appears. There's a lot of like, like Avalon where it's like it's hidden in the midst of time and all that kind of stuff. So does King have an inherent magic about this place? Because Lilith says that it was never on any maps and she studied like everything. Wouldn't other people have found this? But King says, oh, whenever I want to go here, it's there. Very interesting. There's something more about King. I'm saying the King's the son of a Titan. That's all I gotta say. So they land on this island and, and then King's like, haha, here it is. It's so great. And I like, King is a very boastful little man. And when he's writing, when he feels like he's doing like, I'm going to show off all my cool stuff. They get there and they start walking and Lilith's like, why didn't we land a little bit freaking closer? It's like, oh, the treetops, they're so thick. You can't fly in here. You have to land at the beach and then you have to walk in. He's like, and I get to do this. And he like reveals the doorway and it's like the doorway to like a temple or some type of like, very important place. And even Lilith's like, dang, this writing, these symbols in these writings, I don't even know what they are. They could be like old as freaking, older than anything I've even seen before. So this is leading to maybe King is telling the truth, or there's some truth to what he's saying. This is where you get like, and then King's like, hey, I'm going to find you guys a way in. And he like climbs to the rocks and everything. And he's coming his way back out. He's like, oh, hey guys, like, oh, what about that writing? Oh, it's so great. And we're like, and Luce kind of cuts off Lilith. Don't do that. I know you want to protect King's feelings, but he's old enough to start learning the truth about things, and and hiding this little tiny bit of information from him, I don't think that's necessary. But they start to make their way in. They make their little light orbs, and we see all these murals and all these like little I'm not saying that I thought these were like grave markers or something, but we see these little rocks and these little horns, like someone made little like monuments. And King's like, oh yeah, this is my hall. This is where I would devour people and then taste their blood. Like he's just making like these huge stories up. But Lilith's looking in like, dang, I wonder what all these murals mean. And we see like this big giant demon king looking dude with horns, and like, holy crap, is that King? And Lilith's like, these runes are so old, and I can't believe that maybe he might be telling the truth. And I do like the fact that they kind of start believing it, so they start treating him better. Let's say Lilith is fake, but as soon as she finds out somebody's like, she did this with Luce. Remember when she was like the teacher, and then she like gave her all this praise? She like does this all the time. It's ridiculous. But look at King, little man standing on his rock, and he's like, oh, this place, and this is where I ruled my people and everything. And then there's Ehud. He's like, I'm so sorry I treated you so bad. He's just like, oh, I grovel at your feet. But even like Lilith's like, oh, King, your majesty, like just totally buys into it. Can you show us like more of these paintings? What do they mean? Because she wants to learn everything. Then Luce goes on her own. You don't do that. You know what, guys? Now that we're all together, let's split up and search for clues. No, you should always stick together when you're in a place where you don't know where you're at. But Luce kind of just goes on her own and starting to see kind of scary stuff written on the walls. This place is very creepy. We start seeing, I don't know, these I don't want to call them catacombs, or even like graves, but these things are in the walls. It reminded me so much of Alien. I thought these little rocks were eggs, and they're gonna like sprout monsters. But Luce is walking by one of these things, and then she's like, oh, she goes over there and tries to give it like a little boop, like a fist bump, and then it kind of comes to life, and it's like some type of freaking nasty monster thing, and like it's crawling around really fast. Luce's like, okay, time to check out. Let's get the heck out of here. I like the fact that she said, nope, I'm out of here. Then we see more of these paintings, and Lilith's like, what's this one mean? I don't know. It's hard for me to remember because when I shrunk and, it made me forget a lot of things. But look at this guy. Remind you of anyone? And it does look like what would King look like if he was this giant demon guy. And maybe there were a unified demon king. I'm thinking, and comment down below, let me know, do you think Belos broke up this demon hierarchy so they would be in disarray and it would be a less powerful foe? That he did it to destabilize the demon population so he wouldn't have like an uprising of all these demon lords? I'm thinking there must be something that happened that broke this whole like unified kingdom, because she mentioned that. And I'm like, there's no way they would say that unless something had to come of it. Luce's like, come on, let's go. We gotta get out of here. And then we see that monster thing, and it's sufficiently creepy. They're running away from it. This thing's pretty quick, and it's got claws and blades, and it's gonna look like it's gonna kill somebody. Lilith is using some ice shard attacks or whatever, and Luce is like, oh wow, you've been practicing. She's like, well, we can worry about that later. So let's keep moving. This thing can regenerate. Very powerful. An unkillable enemy like this. I wonder if you chopped its head off, but it was able to just like push out the ice shard and just regenerate itself. Running for the entrance. This thing's still coming. Freaking Bandolier, Ida shows up. She has all her like bottle grenades. So cool. She still hasn't mastered glyphs to like actually use them in combat. So she has her potions, and that's like something she's good at. So these are like fire bombs. She's fighting this thing, and she's like, get the heck out of here. You guys can't fight this. You guys don't know what you're, basically you can't handle him. Leave. I would have stayed. I don't know. I can't abandon a teammate. But Lilith took Luce. Okay. She said she can handle it. Let's get out of here. Boom. They run out of the cave, and they're waiting. Like, oh, we can't just leave her in there. Ida said to wait out here. Ida walks out, and she's kind of got banged up a little bit. And I do like, look at this. Oh, sisters. Then that monster tries to jump out, and I guess there's a barrier. It can't leave this place. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I wonder why that is. All the stuff that happened, and then King's like, "Hey, you don't think I'm really a king, do you?" And look at this face. This is that nervous, like, "Oh God, I don't want to tell you the truth. You've been lying to me." "Oh no, and she tries to explain herself, but look at all this bad stuff that went down because she was indulging a fantasy, indulging something that she felt wasn't true. Look at that sad face. And Ida steps up. "You know what, King, it's time to let you know exactly how we met and how I found you." Then we get the history. And this is the stuff I love. I love that this world is rife for like all kinds of storytelling. And the acid rain, and she was running away from Bellows trying to find a place to hide, and she found this island. Remember how no one else could find it? And then King said that when I want to be here, I can find it. So there's some connection. There's something here. There's something between King and Ida and like her family line, his, and there's got to be something more. I can't wait to find out. We don't find out anything like that in this episode, but there's got to be something. And this line right here.
Now, I was one hot tamale, but the boiling rains were even hotter.
The truer words were never spoken. 100% fact. But she's walking around. She makes her way into the temple, and then we get basically where we were at with the cold opener. She sees, "Oh, who's you?" Opens the thing, turns around. "Oh my freaking God, look at baby King. He's so freaking cute." And she's like, "Oh, hi, little dude." And it's like, and he's like building those little things. And then she's like, "Oh, you're a little cutie pie." And she's like, giving him pets and stuff. And he doesn't look very threatening. So she's like, "Oh, I guess I'll just hold on to you." That monster attacks. And she just gets out of there and sees that it can't get past the barrier. And that's how she found King. And on the way out, he shot at her, but it knocked off his horn, and that's how he lost his horn. She picked it up, and they took off. She brought him home, and he started doing what was inside the temple, like all those little like totem things. So he's like building it all, and Ida's like, "Oh yeah, you're just like a little king. Look at your little army, And then he says he talks. "It's so freaking adorable. I love it so much. Look how cute he is."
Ah, look at you, a king amongst his subjects.
King.
It spoke.
Then she's like, "Oh wow, you can talk." Then she starts telling him, "Oh yeah, you are a king. These are all your armies, and kings eat big feasts." And she's like, gives him all those lines, all the things that he says, and she's like, "I just started telling you those things, and then you really believed it, and I didn't want to not tell you, to break your little heart, but I just kept it going, and here's your horn to prove it, and this is where I found you." He picks up the horn, and the horn gives him memories. That's another weird thing. Like, they don't really explain how that works. I guess if he's whole, he gets his memories back, or his memories are in the horn. They don't really explain it, but I'll let it pass. Then he kind of gets that feeling of like, "Oh, my armies," his little totems he built. "Oh, I eat banquets." And he's like eating little like bugs and stuff. Then he's like, No, these are lies. These are fake memories. This didn't really happen. I was really a demon king." And they're like, "No, you were lying to me, that you did this. All you guys did was all lie to me this whole time. Your little heart is breaking because everything he believed, regardless of how small he was and all these bad things, all the things he can't do, like he can't even reach a countertop and he's just this small little guy. But in his heart, he believed I was great once and it got taken from me and I can get it back someday." That there was always that thing in his mind where I can regain this greatness. But if this greatness was never there, then what am I? I'm just this pathetic little thing that has nothing. I don't even have my fantasy anymore. But, he just forget it, get that horn away from me, and just takes off. And then Hootie, look at this. Yeah, when a friend's hurt, and yeah, I know everyone gives each other the business, but his heart's broken and it hurts you too. But look I feel like Hootie right now. It's so sad. So they're like, okay, we're Luce. She feels bad too because she perpetuated the fantasy, perpetuated the lie. But you weren't lying. Is knowing something isn't true, and you're purposely doing it to deceive someone. So I don't necessarily consider it like it's not like an evil lie, but it was one of those things where you weren't being truthful with someone. And I like how okay, it's a small island. He's a small guy. Let's all separate. We can go find him. And there's Lucius crying, and then Ida's like, "Hey, we'll find him. Don't worry. We'll be able to get him. And, give him that little pep talk. She gets out to the beach and what a great picture. I love this. This is great. It's wonderful. He's just sitting there. Luz has to kind of, get ready. I got to go talk to my friend. Sits down and I'm sorry. About all that and, the stories and the fantasy, and there's King and he's like, what do I do now? I was never a demon king. I'm just this basically a pet that Ida found, and I'm just, what am I now? I'm nothing. Luz is a good friend. You're my friend. That's something. And then he's like, I don't even know what's real anymore. I would have grabbed his little paw claw thingy and put it on my face. I'm real. Our friendship is real. The way I feel about you, regardless if you're a demon king or not, I still love you. I would have said something like that, but that's just me. She looks back at the tower. She's like, you know what? You remember falling, right? He's like, yeah, but that could be another false memory. I bet you there's something on top of that tower. Let's get you up there. We got to find out. But he's like, well, what if I found out nothing? What if I find out that it makes me feel even worse? It doesn't matter. We're going to find out together. And no matter what is up there, we're still friends. And I still love you. Puts her hand out. I love it. Oh my God, I love these moments. They're so good. This is the kind of stuff I love. They find Ida and Lilith, and Ida's like, oh goodness, King, you're fine. You're safe. Thank you. Then, she feels bad too for, getting him to believe all that crap. And he's like, you know what, Ida, no more like lies or, just only truth. And then she agrees to it. Oh, more heartfelt moments. There's so many heartfelt moments. This episode is wonderful. Okay, we're going to get our way back in there. But remember, there's that nasty freaking monster thing in there. So we're going to figure out a way to get past this guy. And this is freaking awesome. I want a Hootie firebomb grenade launcher shoulder mounted thing.
Special delivery!
Pain! How freaking awesome is that? Luz and Ida turn invisible. So they're flying away. So they sneak behind this thing and look at this thing. Kaboom, 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 kaboom. I love it.
You sure they'll be all right?
It's great. So it's only like distracting this thing. I wonder if they could actually kill this thing. They get a bomb and they're going to blow the roof so they can get up there. Then this is the only part where like, oh, this is like this deadly situation, but she's still like having fun. I know Luz does this a lot, but she's like, oh, I always wanted to do this, like cause an explosion. She makes a little fireball, hits the bottle, boom, blows it up. Like, okay, get up here, fly up there. I didn't think that thing could follow him, but this thing can like climb on anything. On the way up, you see all these other doors. There's got to be something more in this freaking cave. But since they took this dude out, I wonder if they can go back and explore. We don't know. But they get to the roof and it's empty. And it's like, oh, well, there's nothing up here. Why did we come up here? King's like, guys, that guy, he's here. He's going to get us. They're backing away from it. King touches the wall and it activates. It's like a magic door. They fall into it. They shut it. So King has obviously something to do with this tower. It's either his or it's part of his bloodline or something. We see this room and Lilith's like, this place is old. It's very ancient. Like she can like feel it in her bones. Then we see on the, like in the middle, a bunch of like, I thought it was a shattered pot. Then I thought about it for something. Holy crap, that's his egg. This is where King was born. So I guess his demon, they come out of eggs. He's walking and looking and he's like, so what does this place mean anything to you? He's like, Ida, I'm ready. She's like, are you sure? Yeah. She gives him the horn, and I guess that gives him like his memories. He's in the egg. He's in like the yolk, like inside the actual egg. And he says, I heard something. I heard a big roar. And look at him. You're so adorable. It kills me. Then it cracks open, So this is when he was hatched and he sees this symbol. This symbol's got to mean something. Luz, write this on a freaking glyph. See if it does something. It's got to mean something. And look at his little baby eyes. It's too much. There's no way I could see this and not want to hug the ever-living crap out of this guy. It's so adorable. He's crawling and looking around, opens the door, and there's that big monster. And it picks him up. Oh, this thing was his protector. And then it jumps down the hole, and that was his memory of him falling. This was like one of his first memories. And then he's like, this was my place. And that roar, it meant son. I don't know how, but I know that it meant son. That was my father's voice. Super cool. So his dad was that giant demon. So his dad was probably the Demon King. I have a memory. I don't know what he looks like, but I heard his voice. Then that thing, it gets to the door and attacks. But since this is his domain, he just tells it to stop. And it's like, oh, sweet. This thing was his protector the whole time. And you feel for King because it's all about family, right? Get Dom in here. He's like, if my father's still alive, I want to find him. And, you know, like we can do it together. Look at that smile. I love smiles. Smiles are a thing that we do as humans to let people know that everything's gonna be okay. There's fake smiles, there's evil smiles, but this is a genuine, kind, sweet, and beautiful smile of a friend who wants to be there for you and won't let you down, and just great. I love it. That's the kind of smile that I love. And there you go. They're all gonna do it together. They're gonna help King. This is his family. Look at that big hug. I love it. They get back home, and on the back of King's his little like dog tag thingy, he carves that symbol. I love it so much. He gets his horn back. She glues it. You would need like surgical glue, but like Elmer's glue, it's not gonna work. And we have another absolutely beautiful moment. It just does everything for my heart.
Luce, is it okay to still call me king? Feels kind of weird when I'm not the king of anything.
Well, you'll always be king of my heart. That's good enough, right?
Yeah. Good night, Luce.
Mwah.
Wasn't that just wonderful? And it's so true. You'll always be the king of my heart. I love it. I love it. And Luce is so sweet and kind. This is where her personality is at its best. You want someone like this when you're sad. You want someone like Luce in your life when you don't feel sure about yourself, because she's not going to give up on you. She's going to be there for you, and she's going to let you know that I love you and I care about you. And little kiss on the cheek. Little kiss for his little stuffed animal. Oh, he named this thing something. What was it? Jean-Luc. He named this monster thing Jean-Luc. Oh, what a kiss for him. Oh no, okay. No more left. And they took a bunch of Polaroids while they were in there. That's stupid, but whatever. They had to find a way to document this, but couldn't they just, I don't know. I don't like the idea of Polaroids. Especially, they work exactly like real Polaroids. Ugh. They're looking at all these symbols like this stuff's got to mean something. And then, hey, Luce, what do you think about all this? And she's like, well, it's definitely a mystery. And, you know, whatever it is, we're going to find it together and we're going to help King. Great, wonderful episode. We got character development. The jokes were, they all hit home run jokes. They weren't too stupid and silly. They weren't like Gus eating a business card. That's not funny. Hootie being a freaking grenade launching, shoulder mounted rocket launcher thing. That's funny and awesome. This was everything I want this show to be. So hopefully you get more episodes like this. This is great. So down below, let me know. Do you think, he's the son of a Titan. I'm 100% going to believe that until I'm proven wrong. And that Belos did something to the hierarchy of the demons to break them apart so you wouldn't have to fight a unified demon army. Those are my two beliefs. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think I'm on the right track, or do you think it's something completely different? But yeah, I love this episode. Let me know what you think about it. And I'm trying to catch up. Maybe I do another episode this week, and so I can be 100% caught up before Saturday. But leave comments below, guys. Like, share it around. Catch you on the next one. That's in here. Thanks for watching the video. Remember, you can contact us on any of the social media platforms in the description down below. And while you're here, be sure to click on one of the videos over on the right.